actually in all these games because he's going to be the new Kassadin in terms of these two teams. And I really like the fact Orianna's been banned now.
Yes, so Mundo, Yasuo, and Orianna banned out by Millenium. Quick and fast as well. Supa Hot Crew banning out Aurelia, Maokai once again, and Zillion. So, the cow, first picked. This time around, Kevin gets his hands on it.
I remember Mimer, of course. Was it 100% kill participation? Maybe not in the very end. He did die and Selfie picked up a kill, but up until the very last team fight, he had been part of every single kill. He made it very hard for for Millenium to actually team fight because Creaton could never really join the fight due to Kevin always being in the way on the cow. He's now going to be locked in, most likely for Kevin in the top lane. We did see Jree play Alistar twice in this quarterfinal against SHC Gaming. Didn't actually work for him, so would expect it to be the cow in the top lane.
Oh, will Tristana get picked up once again for MrRalleZ? Will he go for the Kog'Maw? What does he feel is better for him? Of course, every choice of support as well. Could that be their picks? Will they even look towards the mid lane? I
mean, Morgana is open now if they want to lock her in. She's been their go-to support in pretty much all the teams. Elise open as well if they want to do the same combos before.
It is going to be the same.
Okay, so far the same.
They can't obviously get Alistar.
No, sadly, he's gone. But it's somewhat the same here. Orianna, of course, is being banned away now by Millenium, and I like it because while Selfie didn't have the best laning phase on it, it was very, very strong in the team fights and made it, again, very hard for the pick comms from Millenium to actually kill people due to the shield and utilities she brings.
So these pick and bans clearly were focused at the top lane. You know, obviously they banned Mundo, that's Mimer's sort of fallback champion. They knew that Supa Hot Crew would have banned Maokai. They knew that had to happen, otherwise they'd have first picked it straight away. Yeah. So this is clearly gambling on Kevin, on that top lane of cow. And that's if it's a top lane. Could be Jree, could be Jree. But that's gambling on basically him dominating that lane, which is not exactly something that happens that often.
No, definitely not. Otherwise, you do have a lot of team fight potential on the Alistar, which is one of the reasons he is so strong. And I actually do hope we're going to see a Zac being locked in because, in my opinion, he could work really well against Alistar.
Well, Elise and Corki were, of course, locked in. Creaton has some insane stats on Corki from the actual LCS, the normal summer split, but playoffs didn't quite go the way he hoped. There is going to be a switch. Are they going to go with that? Are they going to go with that Kassadin? Impaler worked well on Elise. Of course, that fit the comp last time around.
It's going to do the same here. I mean, you already have the Morgana. You can do the same combination, Elise Morgana, create some picks. You have the disengage potential. And Zac here in the top lane keeps... Come on, lock him in. Just lock it in. The reason he's so good against Alistar, in my opinion, is he can perma-push the lane. He will also out-sustain with his own blobs here, which means Alistar should never be able to actually touch him in the lane. You're tanky enough to avoid
confident lock-in
doing anything.
That didn't look a confident moment to me.
It did take a long time here. Maybe they wanted to actually last pick it and see what we were going to see, but they want to actually have what we were going to see. Maybe they wanted to wait and see if it was actually Alistar top lane.
Are we going to see Jree Warwick?
Jree Warwick. It did work in like a game against Alliance. He was actually their MVP for Millenium, but still, Zac here. The reason Supa Crew were like, okay, should we pick it or not, is because they didn't know if Alistar was going to be supported top lane, and it was picked against Alistar, because you can simply just push him down the lane. From pretty much minute 1 to the end of the game, you can just keep pushing against him. You have a lot of wave clear, get it down to the tower. He should never be able to actually kill you, which make Zac a very strong pick. And also, we know how tanky and annoying he can be in these team fights. If Zac gets a lot of farm early on, he can just jump into the back line and plop around and provide a lot of CC and be very, very hard to kill. So I like it against Alistar. You can push the lane in, a bit like Lulu could against Alistar. I wonder though if Millenium actually want to swap around it.
So, Kassadin picked up for Kerp. Let's see if it's successful this time around. But more importantly for me, Leona for Jree, a champion that he is very good on.
Yeah, and very known for, because he's always the guy who was like the main engage for Millenium in these pick comps. And Kassadin, second time only we see Kerp play Kassadin. Millenium used to be the team to always ban Kassadin, no matter if they were on red or blue side. Now they do have him locked in. So really looking to try and get past, at least for Kerp, the mid-game point, and that's where the Corki pick is really good for Creaton, because he's going to be very strong in the mid-game. Same goes for the Alistar. And then you have the late-game potential of a Kassadin who can always completely snowball out of control. So like in that case, the setup for Millenium here. But still, they give over Morgana Elise, one of my favorite combinations, to Supa Hot Crew. They give, once again, a hyper carry to MrRalleZ. We saw him play it well in the last game. We saw Millenium not being able to kill him in the team fights. And now in this case, especially if it's going to be a Ryze being locked in. Yes, you have Kassadin for late game, but you are still going to be so outscaled by Supa Hot Crew at this point. Yes, so Millenium have to get early kills, have to get Kerp going like they did on the Talon, have to do it for the Kassadin, and this time around he shouldn't jump in and die.
And it has been the standard counter, I think, for Kassadins these days. Apart from the Z, of course, we saw the Rue just pull out earlier on. But Ryze tends to be that fallback champion against Kassadins in mid.
And at the same time, you now have Rune Prison and then double skill shot CC. So whoever gets Rune Prison by the Ryze will get followed up with more CC and opens up for MrRalleZ to just kill the target. So it's also going to mean Kerp has to build an early hourglass if he wants to play aggressive in teamfights. Otherwise, he's going to jump in, get CC'd, and just die instantly. A bit like he did on the Talon here. So once again, Millenium, they love this pick potential they can do here with the Leona, with the Kassadin, with the Corki. They do have some mid-game power, but they have to get the kills in mid-game. They have to get the kills early mid-game. If they do fall behind, Supa Hot Crew will super outscale them.
Well, game 2 about to get underway in just a moment. Millenium trailing behind. As Jree just said to you, I saw it, the internal chat there. Well, we're behind just like we were last year with you.
True. He did also say...
Incoming blitz.
Incoming blitz, he lied. And then he actually said, we're going to try not to be caught out of position now. Which probably is a good idea.
Would be a very good idea.
Didn't work out too well for them last time.
Well, they are the ones that are going to be looking for picks, of course, with the Kassadin in there, with Elise in there. More importantly, we want to see Alistar versus Zac. Or will they switch it to a 2v1?
Could be 2v1 simply to avoid the lane here. Unless Kevin feels like he can actually handle Mimer on the Zac. I don't know how it's going to be in the matchup.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are now finally getting onto the Rift. Millenium starting out as the blue side for the first time in this best-of-5 series, up against Supa Hot Crew. Well, 1 game to the good. Nothing insane coming out from level 1 items. Everybody remembering to buy their trinkets.
Well,
it's always a bonus.
So yeah, again, Zac in top lane, as I said in Champ Select. I've seen it before. It should be very strong against Alistar because you just constantly push him into his own tower and he can never really touch you because you have so much sustain and you are so tanky. So really looking forward to see what Mimer can do on it. Kerp decided to go with without the teleport on Kassadin here, so they don't want the double global pusher they could do, which we often see on a Kassadin. Especially also because then Mimer could be split pushing and Kerp could be joining in. They can pick up a kill and then still react if 4 members from Supa Hot Crew is going to start a Baron. But decided not to run a teleport. Basically just wants to have some more early pressure and want to be able to hopefully for him pick up some kills.
So, instant movement. The moment they saw Morgana, KaSing in that river, placing that ward, you see Millenium completely shuffling position. Creaton back into base. They are going to head straight towards that top lane with Jree.
Smart enough here, avoiding the one-on-one for Kevin. And now he can actually run around with Kottenx, and Alistar is one of the best top laners and best supports as well. At actually early ganks, of course, get his level 2 point, and you have so much gank potential. Slap Elise on his back as well, and you have 2 members running into a lane, and you can just shut down whatever target you actually want too early. So do have a very scary ganking squad between Kottenx and Kevin now. And if they want to go towards this mid lane to try and shut down Selfie, we have seen it before where teams look to shut down him early on, because he's a player where all the teams always say, if we get a few kills on him early, he will tilt and he won't be able to communicate with the team, he won't be able to perform well enough if he dies a few times early. So we could see Kottenx and Kevin invest a lot of time on trying to kill him in this mid lane and also get Kerp ahead.
Well, looks like we're going to get the 4-0 down the bottom, of course, in reaction to Millenium doing the exact same thing in the top half, quickly reacting, changing position, moving down south. We'll see whether they get themselves across. There is no wards to give them vision, so should be able to just head straight on across and start things standard. So 4-0 starts for both these teams. Who does that benefit?
Well, for now, seeing as they didn't want Kevin against Mimer on the Zac, it should be in favor of Millenium. But you can't really say anything this early on because both the dual lanes, I mean, Corki is a strong laner. Leona, however, is a bit of a weak one, especially against the Morgana with the Black Shield. There's room to outplay, there always is. We always see it where you can go in on one target, bait out the Black Shield, then switch target and stun the other one, the other AD carry if it is, if he's standing next to Morgana. But definitely, in my opinion, in favor of Millenium that they get the lane swap here. Also to make sure Creaton can actually farm on Corki, where sometimes you do see Leona's being shut down early and then just forced to stand on the tower and can't really assist the team.
Of course, the fallout of the 4-0 is also the fact that these two mid laners get themselves some free time to get those levels going, which I think Kerp will be quite thankful for, but you can see Selfie trying to return that damage, but he's not really penetrating the shield.
No, but look at Kevin here. Level 2 cow. He wants to help Kerp here. Kottenx is staying in the jungle to farm, and Selfie is very far up the lane.
He's protecting the dragon. Look at this. Supa Hot Crew going for dragon. Selfie's going to try and head away from this one. He has got the team nearby. They're going to ward out. He does walk away, doesn't burn the flash, and it's an early dragon for Supa Hot Crew. That is the benefit of having all of your members in the bottom lane.
Definitely is the benefit, and always what you have to do, or at least start the dragon up here and force your team to react. I would have loved just to see Kevin and Kottenx be more aggressive around the dragon though.
Oh,
Kevin now in trouble.
Out of position there. We're not going to see any flashes coming out. I don't think it's needed. They will manage to pressure him away. Supa Hot Crew not burning too much for that.
So while again the lane swap was started by Millenium, I'm not sure why they didn't actually invest any of their members to stop this dragon, which happens pretty much every lane swap we do have. Early on, Jree was sitting up in the top lane together with Creaton in a 2v0. Mimer just teleported to the lane now. He could have been around the dragon. Kottenx and Kevin as well was walking around in the jungle or around the mid lane. They should have been in position to stop the dragon, because that's the thing. You can start the early dragon, but you take a lot of damage from it, so you have to stop it if 2 or 3 members walk down towards you. KaSing they were going towards Kerp. He does have backup from Kottenx.
KaSing, I'm not too sure whether he was ever planning on landing a Dark Binding, because there was a stack of minions that Kerp was stood on top of. He's still continuing to keep his presence known, along with Impaler. Just off in the river, they're going to come back up again once again. Can they land the 2 skill shots? Dark Binding does not land. Impaler repels, so he can't switch across quick enough to cocoon out. So flash burn from Kerp, that's enough done.
Yeah, and he's only level 4, so it's going to be a while before he gets his level 6 and his own little jump, which means if Supa Hot Crew wants to go for a second gank now, they should be able to lock him down and potentially pick up the first blood and make him fall behind. I mean, we saw earlier today what happens when a Kassadin actually do fall behind. He's not going to be able to offer a lot before he picks up a lot of farm. He doesn't bring a lot of wave clear, so he has to find a safe lane to sit in and farm. Down his bottom lane, MrRalleZ once again pushing in a massive wave to the tower. Kevin is there. He's only level 3, and KaSing has rejoined the lane, so might be able to push him away and at least deny him some farm. He should be able to pick up the experience. Let's see what he does.
Creaton's holding the lane.
So scared, yeah. He's
in
really
the top. He's not going to vision, does put the ward down, finds KaSing is there. Mimer, of course, launching himself across. Let's give up on sticking around the top, so it will be a 5-man, will it? You're going to see 4 members. Selfie's coming down, as is Kottenx and Jree. So 4 on 3 so far. Oh, Jree out of position. Mimer actually gets headbutted into him, and Jree will not be too thankful for that one. He's going to go down. Now, Pulverize comes out from Kevin. Bit of a mistake there by Millenium.
Yeah, so that was a bit of a weird play by Kevin. Actually ended up costing them the first blood now. So again, this lane swap has gone horribly wrong for Millenium. They gave up a dragon, even though they had members. They could have moved down to try and stop it, and now also gave up the first blood, with Supa Hot Crew sending 4 members down to this bottom lane, and Kevin, by mistake of course, knocking, was it Mimer, into the face of Jree and ended up actually killing him. So not a good start for Millenium in this lane swap. And 2 members to defend. Jree's going to rejoin from base. 4 members from Supa Hot Crew, however. They might look for this one.
Oh, Dark Binding on Kottenx. He's going to be the target. He'll go down. Remember, the cocoon was not used, I don't think. Now, last time, Kevin trying to heal out Jree. Medium wave will get cleared. There's a wave coming in towards the bottom as well. Selfie now caught out. MrRalleZ going aggressive. Kerp going aggressive on it. There's the cocoon. There's the Dark Binding. Kevin the focus. Pulverize lands. KaSing has to flash out, but that will be Kevin going down. There was a lot of tower hits. The Ignite gonna not be enough to take down MrRalleZ. They will eventually get this tower down and the 2 kills.
And Supa Hot Crew just have such a strong dive comp with these 4 members here. KaSing was actually tanking the tower, but just remember, Elise can repel up in the air, reset the tower aggro, switch it over to someone else, and of course Mimer with his passive as well.
Oh, Ignite goes down. He fancies this one, but he has to flash away. Selfie gets out clean, but that will cost him a couple of waves of minions.
So some action mid lane. Kerp doing good job. Might actually fancy this one. No flash, however.
A Rift Walk on towards
Selfie
him.
Just staying to recall.
Simple RQ combo would take him down, and Selfie, well aware of that one, will finally get back to base.
So all this action down this bottom lane here. A lot of kills picked up by Supa Hot Crew. Mimer got 1, got a few assists as well. He's now going to return up to this top lane and get the one-on-one lanes. But Kevin, or actually both top lanes, are only level 4 at this point. It's just the fact that Mimer has a few kills picked up, and definitely an item advantage early on here, making it now even harder for Kevin to actually poke him down with the early magic resist.
Causing problems for him, that's for sure. See where that Ruby Crystal goes, whether it's going to go into a Rod of Ages or whether it will go towards that phage. We'll see, keep our eyes on it. Simply right now, he just needs it for the hit points because Mimer is a little fearful in that top lane, honestly. He's going towards magic resist early on. Spectral Cowl in there as well. Mid lane, Selfie, while he did get bullied out and forced back, did get the Tear and the Catalyst completed. So he's going to start stacking out. That's the standard Ryze build. It's how you start off everything. Kerp's going to come straight in, put some burst down in his face, slowly chip away at Kerp's hit points, who himself comes back with a Catalyst. Hasn't gone for the Rod, for the Tear, instead going towards the Rod of the Ages. Okay,
so Rod of Ages. Well, again, we don't actually see Tear too often from Kassadin anymore. Rod of Ages seems to be the go-to one. Can it be a little bit too slow here? We have to see what Kerp wants to build after the Rod of Ages, of course. But up in his top lane now here, even better for Mimer is the fact he's against double AP, so he can actually build Spirit Visage as the first item. A bit like a Dr. Mundo, where it works really well because you have all the sustain already, making it close to impossible for Kevin to even touch him. And at the same time, you don't see any healing reduction from top laners anymore, so Zac once again gets a small benefit, and Alistar will pretty much always run teleport, meaning Mimer can just run around this lane here and keep pushing it down to the tower, force Kevin to stay under the tower. If Kevin ever TPs away from this lane, his tower will most likely end up going down.
MrRalleZ returns the lane. He gets himself that Sheen early on, headed towards the Trinity Force. Trinity Force also being completed, or built by Creaton, I should say. We'll see who gets the edge on that one. Creaton, of course, inactive in all that fighting. He was up in the top lane getting that farm as well. He's got that big advantage in farm, but of course, a kill and 2 assists. Selfie caught out in position.
Impaler's here.
He's roaming a little bit. Impaler comes around the side. Cocoon on towards Kottenx. Kicks Selfie away. Selfie may well go down here. Teleport comes out. Kerp, well, he's not going out of this one, whichever way he goes. But Kevin teleports in. Pulverized on towards Impaler. He's forced in there. Mimer joins the fight, but he's only on half the hit points. He will get less bounce off. Kevin going to get caught around. Pulverized was used. Kerp will not escape this one.
Nice.
MrRalleZ gets him down. Kevin's ultimate's about to wear off. He's got about 2 seconds left. There it goes. Creaton dodges out of it, but will get caught the slow, force the flash away, and the Supa Hot Crew come out an advantage 2-1, and if they can take the dragon, it's a bonus.
Well, let's see. Creaton is still around, Kevin as well, but Kevin is out of mana. He has no ulti. Creaton is trying to steal it with the rocket. It didn't actually work here. This all started with Selfie actually walking by a ward from Millenium and then waiting in a bush, so they knew he was there. And then Kottenx and Selfie Kerp just wanted to jump in. Notice here, he walked past the ward, so he's actually baiting it out now. Probably not on purpose, but still it worked because Impaler was nearby. He joined in. Instantly, the burst down Impaler, burst down Kottenx is going really well with these names here. And then whole fight breaks out. Supa Crew already has the advantage. Kerp is out of mana at this point. Kevin is out of mana after he pops his ult. The very last snipe gets a kill. Impaler on this, at the moment here, is very, very low, but he got out of the fight. And of course, Mimer could just take all the damage. He had his passive. Come back to life here. So only 1 kill for Millenium. Also lost the dragon. And this was all set up by Selfie walking by the ward, waiting in the bush then. Kerp and Kottenx thinking, okay, he's out of position now. He doesn't know we had a ward that we're going to jump him. And then you also see one of the reasons you build AP on Elise early on, because the burst you can do at this point is so strong.
So 2 fights down for Millenium, and they find themselves 6-1 worse off, and 5,000 gold just 12 minutes into this one. It's in danger of spiraling out of control. And as a Kassadin, when you fall behind, although he is still 1-0, it's not easy to get back in towards it, especially when the rest of the Supa Hot Crew are building basically to beat you, to take you down. 100%. Spirit Visage already completed for Mimer is going to be very hard to deal with as this game develops. And
also remember, Creaton is the only real wave clear from Millenium here. Jree can't do anything to the waves. Kevin at the same time will have to stand under it. They're actually going for Mimer here. He's pretty safe, the headbutt Q headbutt. Actually failed from Kevin there. But again, there's no real wave clear except for Creaton on the side of Millenium. So it means Supa Crew can very early on start pushing up to the tower because Creaton is running from the bottom lane.
And some free poke on Kerp there as he catches that Dark Binding. We saw this in the previous game of Dark Binds and Cocoons. You can find yourself some easy pick-out targets. Kevin bounced on ultimate use from Mimer, simply clearing out the wave and forcing him back while the rest of his team shove out and try and force this mid lane. Wave clear from Creaton should be enough to keep it away. Smite even being used by Kottenx, desperate to keep this tower alive in the mid lane.
And look at all the wards here also around the blue buff from Millenium. So Supa Crew were basically just waiting for it to spawn. They had already warded up everything around it. And now as soon as it started, Supa Crew is moving in for the fight because they know they are so much stronger at the moment. So they just kept 4 members around this tower here. KaSing, just a Black Shield escapes.
Yeah, they focus on KaSing there. He's just like, all right, I'll Black Shield that.
Here's the fight.
Here's the fight. Remember, Let's Bounce not available for Mimer. MrRalleZ picked off early here. That's going to be the Soul Shackles. Will it do enough? Creaton focused on, but now KaSing's in trouble. He's going to get picked out around the side there. Kerp did go down to Selfie, but it is a double kill so far for Creaton. They can turn this fight on its head. Supa Hot Crew. This is dangerous restarting the blue buff. There's only 3v4 right now, and that is why they're backing away.
And this is exactly why we love to see Jree and Leona. He was the guy to set it up, landed everything onto MrRalleZ. He was locked down the entire time and just ended up dying without being able to do anything. So nice little engage here from Jree. Onto the Supa Hot Crew. We're just going to see it again. It's all about Jree here, landing the ulti perfect onto MrRalleZ. Flashed on him as well. He's taking so much damage. Okay, so he walks around for like 1 second and then he just dies. He didn't hit anyone. KaSing coming in from the back of the Morgana here. Not exactly the best situation you want to be in, and actually end up dying as well. So trading 2 for 1 and also defended the blue buff. And remember, this was Supa Hot Crew who wanted to fight for this blue buff. They kept Millenium in the mid lane, waited for it to spawn, and then moved in all 5 members to take a fight.
And if you think about that, it was KaSing out of position at the start to use that Black Shield to prevent himself being CC'd, which meant it wasn't available for MrRalleZ.
Yes. That's a very good point, Lee.
I know, right?
Oh, it is. It was a good point.
So, Supa Hot Crew, they have the advantage. Kevin unawares right now. Let's Bounce goes off. Cocoon catches on towards him. Won't get a chance to use his ultimate because it's on a cooldown. And a simple kill. It's a squishy cow when he's only got the beginnings, the makings of a Trinity Force, but not even close to completing it.
And that is always the thing to remember with Alistar. Yes, he looks very tanky when his ulti's up. When it's not, and he's building Trinity Force for his item, there's a lot of gold invested into damage and no tanky stats. So you can focus him down. Do it again. Mimer will be able to pick up the tower here. So while they did lose the fight at the blue buff for Supa Hot Crew, getting a kill up in the top lane, getting the tower, keep the gold lead. And now, just waiting about 45 seconds for the next dragon to spawn, and we might see Supa Hot Crew once again move down. Mimer already recalling from his top lane. Look to pick up another dragon. I wonder if Millenium wants to try and do anything. They do have the Corki. Trinity Force completed with the 2 kills, so Creaton right now has hit his very strong point. And if he's left alone, he will be able to kill the members from Supa Hot Crew. But he's actually the only guy who's actually doing really well at this point.
Well, that wave won't last long. Impaler will clear that up. 2 AD carries are down the bottom lane still. 2-1-4 for MrRalleZ. Trinity Force complete. 2-0-0 for Creaton. Again, that double in the last fight. Trinity Force also complete. So equal power, just a door and blade difference between the two. A lot of ages completed by both mid laners as well, of course, along with that tier. But Mercury Tread's already picked up by Selfie, so we're looking to get involved. And now we see Mimer coming back. Source Boots picked up on that last back, as well as a Chain Vest, so he is starting to become a bit of a problem. We wondered on this Zac. It's a long time since we've seen Zac in competitive play, honestly. So far, 2-0-4, it's working fantastically.
It was actually also the champion 1 year ago. Mimer used to play a lot, and then teams started banning it, and we had to go for Yorick. So good to see him back on the Zac. He's doing well on it, farming here, pushing down Kevin up in his top lane, like we talked about in Champs, like he could do. And also been able to get some early kills because it died from their lane swap at like level 4 down this bottom lane. And Supa Crew setting up the dragon. Do have teleport on Mimer. Same goes for Kevin, however. We can see both here. Kevin coming in from behind. Mimer right in the middle of Millenium.
Mimer coming in. Let's Bounce available. It's going to get straight on towards him, and he bounce he will do. Gets in towards, does the damage. Jree taking a lot of damage down there. Kottenx drops. Jree drops. Kerp's going to get focused on. He will go down. Kevin trying to get him towards Impaler. It will be a kill for Creaton, but that is all that they will get as Selfie gets himself. Kevin locked up. Dark Binding, ace for the Supa Hot Crew, and a fantastic fight. The teleport, Zach. Let's bounce on 4 members, completely caught them off guard.
Yeah, such a nice teleport. Kevin actually tried to teleport behind Supa Hot Crew and surprised him. Let's see again, Mimer is already in the fight. He just teleported on the ward here, jumping onto Millenium, pick up the kills, and they just get the first 2 kills so fast. Now there's nothing else to do. Room prison from Ryze onto Kassadin. He won't be able to jump around. He goes down very fast. Creaton will be chased by Selfie. Another kill for him, and MrRalleZ as well would get a double kill down here onto Kevin. So nice engage with teleport for Mimer. Another dragon for Supa Hot Crew. And we have to remember they are very far ahead in gold. So looking very strong in these fights.
Risky dragon, they don't have
smite.
Kottenx does. He's going to get caught up with the dark body. They're going to focus straight on towards him, and he gets dropped. Now they can take the dragon. And well, Millenium are just making mistake after mistake. Kottenx thought he could sneak in and quickly focus it down, steal that smite while Impaler wasn't there, but it wasn't to be. It's one of those sacrifices as a jungler you just have to make.
Yeah, especially because Impaler wasn't there, so actually smart by Supa Hot Crew to stop the dragon before it was too low, and just wait for Kottenx to jump in, kill him, and then they could take it without Impaler being there to smite it. But I'm not even sure if Millenium can do at this point. They need to hope that Kerp can pick up a lot of kills on Kassadin and start snowballing out of control. Otherwise, they are so far behind in goal at this point. We'll actually get 2 towers now, so that's going to help. But still, Supa Hot Crew is definitely in the driving seat.
So, the team fights go in Supa Hot Crew's way. Millenium, can they maybe try and sneak a pick off here? Selfie getting pretty strong. You can see already his Seraphs is well underway. 547 and 750 for him so far, so not long on that one, fully stacking itself out. Some magic resist being picked up by Kerp and the Negatron.
Going for blue buff again. Supa Hot Crew wants to make sure Kerp cannot pick up this blue buff.
Now they lost out this fight last time around. Let's see if it works out again. Solar Flare being used defensively from Jree this time. Supa Hot Crew in a much stronger position starting this fight out. Creaton not even close to being in the fight.
Yeah, so stupid blue buff now for Supa Hot Crew. This time around, do manage to take it, and MrRalleZ is already in the mid lane to just clear the wave and make sure Millenium couldn't respond by pushing up to the tower here. But man, it's just been an uphill battle for Millenium pretty much since the start of the lane swap, where they dive down the bottom lane for Supa Hot Crew. After they took the dragon, nobody was there to contest it for Millenium, and then they just went down, picked up 3 kills in the bottom lane before minute 5, I believe it was, and just got so far ahead, even got the tower as well.
Oh, Chain CC once again, causing problems, gets themselves possibly the objective on this one. Wave will get cleared. Kottenx just about not getting caught in that cocoon. Very tight for him though. And Supa Hot Crew, honestly, they seem to be able to siege this one down. Kerp was down the bottom trying to get the split push going, but I'm not sure they have the wave clear potential right now to keep Supa Hot Crew away.
Well, that's the thing. You see Supa Hot Crew always get a few hits on the tower and always get a chance to land a binding or cocoon because the wave is not being cleared fast enough, which makes it even harder for Millenium to actually sit here and defend it.
So they're going to rotate top. They have Mimer pushing the wave in. Everybody in there, and they're going to get some damage down on this before Millenium can respond. Finally going to get close, try and wipe that wave out. Now that the Force is starting to do some damage for Kerp, they are able to get some down, but again, oh, tower's going to go down. Kevin caught out. They're going to go in this one. Solar Flare was used from Jree, trying to lock up the AD carry, but can they get the damage down on towards him? They will, just about. MrRalleZ finally falls down, but they're going to turn it around. Jree taking low. Soul Shackles will ping off and take him down. Cocoon, Selfie's going to survive. Kerp couldn't get on him, just gets chain locked up, and it's another double kill for Selfie.
And it all starts with Supa Hot Crew just moving from the mid lane to the top side. There's a big wave, take down the tower, and then they get a 4-for-1 here. Even moving towards Baron now. MrRalleZ is dead, however. He's going to be the main dealer, or damage dealer for it. But let's see here. Tower gone. Fight starts. Once again, Cocoon landed, the room prisons, everything. Kerp at this moment is not strong enough to join in with Jree and Kevin when they go towards the backline, which means he's actually forced to jump out of the fight first and then rejoin when it's too late. And we just also talked about how room prison into cocoon into binding. I mean, you're locked up for like 6-7 seconds.
And they could not take down the Baron though. Creaton's presence comes in, takes down KaSing, and stops that dead in its tracks. So, small victory for Millenium. but with 11,000 gold differential, and
that is what I call a small one.
I don't think a single team fight won by them yet. It's a bit of an issue.
Well, they did win the one at Dragon, at the blue buff, 2 for 1. But in the big team fights around the Dragon or in the top lane here, they've just been so far behind in gold. Kassadin is not strong enough yet. Creaton is doing really well. He's trying to do his best to carry Millenium through this mid game here. But it's just so hard because he's the only member with the kills. He's the only member with actually items here who can deal damage. Kevin did get his Trinity Force completed, but every time he goes in, he will maximum kill one member, and then his ulti wears off, and then we can actually see Supa Hot Crew kill him. And Mimer just jumps towards Creaton in these fights. He just jumps in his face, force him to only hit him, and then it's a 4v4 with the remaining members, which goes completely in favor of Supa Hot Crew at this point.
It's one of those moments where everybody's complaining, why are you hitting the tank?
Yeah.
Because it's the only big green gooey thing in my face right now.
It's plopping in my face.
So, I mean, you only need to really look at the kills and assists across the board for the Supa Hot Crew and just see that the entire team is involved in these fights. It is very much a joint effort for everyone.
Yeah, and we might see Millenium try and ward up their own jungle and hope someone from Supa Hot Crew will be a bit overconfident, split up from the rest of the team, and then you do still have a lot of engage from Jree, even from Kottenx and Kevin, to catch out a member running alone. So if Supa Hot Crew stops running as a group, it might open up for Millenium to get a few kills, get a few picks, and do actually what Supa Hot Crew did to Millenium in game 1, where it was Millenium who did really well in the early game with 4,000 gold ahead, and then they got caught out of position a few times. They can try and do the same here to Supa Hot Crew. It's going to be the way back into the game, and they need to get all the kills on like Kerp or Creaton here.
Vision starting to be denied. Dragon up in 10 seconds. Supa Hot Crew very much in solid position to take this one, as Millenium have no vision at all. They have a little bit of wards around the slight bush area, but that's about all they can go. They may try and still force a tower out of it, though. Could well push in towards that mid lane tower. They're going to try and take it, but Supa Hot Crew
they need to be careful.
Are coming around the side, yeah. Oh, Kerp just literally does nothing to Mimer. He just laughs at him and actually bounces in his face.
And will probably heal all the damage he just took there from Kerp in just one blob on the floor, and then he's back to full HP again. But Millenium may at least try to move up the mid lane once the Dragon, they knew it was gone, so they at least tried to go for the mid tower, but they didn't have any minions, couldn't get it down in time, and then...
But with the aggression of Kerp just showed, they just went, well, Kerp's not there, he can't force pulse the wave, so therefore there's no wave clearly left, and we're just going to go in and take a simple tower. I mean, that was just great reaction to Supa Hot Crew. Millenium this time, they are going to try and force this mid lane tower. Can they do it? Supa Hot Crew, they're closing the net. They're coming from every angle.
Look at Mimer here.
Look at Mimer, ready and waiting to elastic slingshot in. He has got Let's Bounce available. Will he go for it? Hasn't got the flash. Kerp going to get focused on. Impaler comes in. How's he going to land the cocoon? Well, that doesn't land. He's got plenty available. Dark Binding not going to get fired off. Selfie looking to get on towards him. Use Ghost, actually, to try and track onto someone. Millenium, they get out alive. They are very close to getting caught every time they try and push this mid turret.
And it's only Creaton who can actually hit the tower. The rest of the members from Millenium are all melee range, so they have to get into actually stand under the tower, which is so risky against all these all the engagement potential from Supa Hot Crew, and also because they have no wards on the side, because they're so far behind, they can never really safely say, okay, now we have the time to go in and hit the tower, because Supa Hot Crew is always nearby and can engage onto them. So, as we talked about in Champ Select, Millenium have to just get some kills, have to snowball the early game here, otherwise Supa Hot Crew will be stronger in the fights and also outscale them. And obviously there's no siege potential either, because you only have the Corki to hit the tower.
It's always so disheartening when you walk up and do a force pulse and you see about 2 hit points move off the target, and you're like, well, that didn't do anything, did it? Let's see how Mimer builds, because he completed that Sunfire Cape. He's gone Haunting Guys. Wow. So, okay, it's time to get some damage down on that bounce potential of the blob. Of course, the AD carries, you can see they picked up the Blade of Rune King versus Infinity Edge for Creaton. Abyssal Scepter has now been completed by Kerp, so we'll see how that helps him. But while he's done that, Selfie, he's just gone back to get a Banshee's Veil.
Yeah, and what we see from Supa Hot Crew here is they don't really have to run down and just instantly push a tower. They don't have to use the lead they have at the moment to apply a lot of pressure, because they can safely sit back and farm and just get even stronger the further the game goes. So we just see them sit in the lanes at the moment, farm, and whenever they can get a dragon or a tower, they walk down, take it, and then they just go back here. And if Millenium actually do move forward, they will of course look to engage onto them. Otherwise, we've just seen them sit back, wait for a few key items. Banshees, of course, you just talked about for Selfie. Mimer as well, getting some damage, getting some magic penetration up in the top lane. And at some point, they're going to say, okay, now we really feel we are strong enough. Let's just go for this fight here. Let's tower dive in with Mimer or Impaler first.
Well, they've completely invaded the Millenium jungle. Moving around there, Millenium dare not go near it. Kevin's the only person that tends to tentatively step in towards the jungle.
Kerp is in the top lane.
Desperately trying to split push and shove that wave out while by himself and his team some time. But Cocoon lands on Creaton. That is not what you need. Does manage to get the flash out before the second chain managed to land on towards him. But with the AD carry that low, the minion wave now coming in, this tower will fall.
Well, Kerp did actually just start slow pushing the top lane, and then he walks down to this bottom lane now. But as you just said, Creaton is gone. He's the only wave clear from Millenium. So this tower is gone as well. And at the moment, Supa Hot Crew can just move into these towers, get a few hits, step away. If they ever feel there's a chance of losing a team fight, they can just disengage and go back to base, then come down and do the same again.
Well, they had a pretty big wave there, but they did clear it out. Quick force pulse and phosphorus bomb from Creaton did enough to wipe out the minion wave. Supa Hot Crew will happily buy themselves a little time, step away from this one. They've got a minute and a half on Dragon. They could even maybe try and draw them to Baron now with
easily
no wave available. And that's what's obviously going through Millenium's mind is, are we going to catch on towards it? Look at Mimer interrupted on the elastic slingshot, maybe trying to bait it out, maybe trying to draw on towards Millenium and get some damage down on towards him in simple wave clear. And you can see peeling off at the back is Impaler and MrRalleZ, while the rest of the Supa Hot Crew keep them busy in the mid lane.
And you just move in your Blade of the Ruin King hyper carry with percent magic damage onto the Baron. Should go down very fast, and Millenium won't be able to react in time unless they're running in right now. And they are actually going in here to try and stop it. Let's see if we can get a steal.
Nope, the Baron's down. They peel off the side there. Elastic slingshot from Mimer didn't quite catch on towards Kottenx. He had to flash away across towards the blue buff, but Baron picked up by the Supa Hot Crew.
So got the Baron now, can go back to pushing down these towers, don't have to actually split up. They can send Mimer in one lane and keep the rest of the members in like the mid lane and just push down 2 lanes at once, because Mimer is so strong in a one-on-one at the moment. They can also just go 5 members to the mid lane, to the bottom lane, whatever they decide, and actually dive onto Millenium or just force down the tower. Always get a few hits, wait a few seconds for the next wave, land a binding, land a cocoon, and then you just go in straight in for the dive here, which is what Supa Hot Crew can do. They have multiple options. They're so far ahead in gold, and now they just need to use it. No reason for Supa Hot Crew to take the chance and go really late game here, because you never really, even though they will outscale, you can always make a mistake in the late game, end up losing a team fight, and then all of a sudden the other team comes back and maybe even finish the game. So no reason for Supa Hot Crew to delay the game too much. And now they do have the lead, they do have all the items they need.
Well, with a little bit of poke, Neandra's picked up by both Mimer and Impaler. They can just keep forcing them in. Mimer down the bottom, split pushing, still yet to die. Has been forced into his passive twice, but nobody from Millenium has been able to finish him off. He's just going to carry on shoving that bottom wave while the rest of his team rotate, take down the Dragon. Impaler actually split pushing on the top wave as well, forcing that one down. But be careful, just going to take away the white while the rest of his team focus towards this bottom lane. He will get spotted out by the ward, so I don't think there's too much danger for him of getting spotted out. You can see good ward coverage from Millenium actually defensively, but that is about as far as they can go where that ward line pretty much stands.
Yeah, and seeing as they're standing in the base, they don't have any pick potential, even though they have some good wards down. So if someone like MrRalleZ was walking all alone, they weren't in a position to jump him anyway. He did, however, just stay with the rest of the team. So Supa Hot Crew running in as a unit, looking to land one of the bindings of cocoons and potentially dive, otherwise just take down the tower.
Well,
they need to be with the wave, however. Now they're kind of losing out on it because it keeps getting to tower before they arrive and get cleared.
Kind of need someone to start taking the hits of this tower. Mimer would be the prime target, so MrRalleZ can get some of that long-range poke. He's shredding down the tower every time he gets onto it, but right now from Supa Hot Crew, nobody's willing to be that man to take the first initial hit, despite the tankiness available to them. They're just going to hold this one out. Baron buff, of course, is on them, so health regen would be a thing. Selfie tries to go in. He catches on towards Kerp, puts some damage down. Selfie's going to get focused on here. Solar flare, but the headbutt, the kick coming out of Kottenx is not enough. Kevin goes in, tries to pulverize on towards him, just doesn't have the damage. Selfie burning down. He will finally drop to the ignite, but it's a futile task, honestly. It's a 1-for-1 so far. Kerp just off on the side, wants to try and get some poke, but the inhibitor will fall, and the Supa Hot Crew is going to move up to this mid-wave that's clawing its way down. No, they're going to turn around. Down binding catches on Jree. He's in trouble. Not going to be able to get out of this one. Quick elastic slingshot from Mimer bounces him up, and they lock up another target.
And Supa Hot Crew don't even mind losing Selfie. It was all about just getting the tower down, get the inhibitor, start getting the super minions to walk in the base of Millenium. And they can go back now, use the gold they have, start doing the exact same thing on the top lane or the mid lane, and push it down. Millenium here might respond and actually get a tower in the mid lane. Much needed goal. They will be able to get this one here. Take it down. So, third tower of the game for Millenium. 34 minutes in.
Took them a while, but something's better than nothing. They're going to try and keep pushing on this one until Supa Hot Crew respond. That's going to be a pretty quick reaction. They're going to chase. Oh, teleport from Mimer. Tries to catch on towards Creaton. He has got flash available if he wants to continue pouncing on towards him. There's the scrying orb to give vision. They're going to pursue. Flash for flash. Creaton gets away, but that is an important flash burn. Rather have that taken off your AD carry than your top laner.
100% agree. They can just jump onto him now, make it even harder for him to actually clear the waves. But Supa Hot Crew back down towards this mid lane. Don't want to waste any more time. Just want to get this base down, win the game, get to 0, and look very good going into the third game.
Well, Kevin's going to try and come in there. Kottenx, everything they can do to clear the way. Kerp tries to get in, but he gets quickly locked up. MrRalleZ free hitting that turret while everybody else was left trying to deal with the minion wave. Supa Hot Crew, just a matter of time, a matter of waves. Super minions pushing down the bottom wave. They're on towards the Nexus turrets right now. MrRalleZ ready and waiting to start barraging that tower as soon as they step in, the wave comes in, the second inhibitor turret falls, and the inhibitor may well follow. Super minions in there. They're going to lock onto Kottenx, taken very low from this one. Mimer goes straight in towards it. Jree locked up at the side there. Soul Shackles will ping off on towards Kevin. He's going to get locked down as well. It's a 2-for-0 so far as Supa Hot Crew continue to push. Kerp has to flash away from this one, tries to get out of the base. Supa Hot Crew pretty low on hit points, but again, they are all in full control. Remember that Baron buff on them is just finally worn off. That's going to be the Nexus turrets going down. The second one should fall. They have the super minions there. Not enough damage from Millenium to prevent this one. It's going to be an easy 2-0 lead for the Supa Hot Crew. They will finally close it out. They're going to get themselves some padded statistics. Remember, fantasy is finished, guys. Let's just finish the game. 23-7 overall and 36-minute easy victory.
And just completely outplayed and outpicked Millenium in this game here. Millenium got the lane swap. They were actually the ones to start the lane swap. Then they didn't defend the dragon. It went down. Then down the bottom lane, 3 members died from Millenium to the tower dive from Supa Hot Crew at like minute 4, minute 5. And then as soon as you fell behind with the comp Millenium had, there was just nothing they could do against Supa Hot Crew. So completely outpicked, outplayed in the early game, and then it was just a matter of time before Supa Hot Crew actually managed to push in the base and finish the game here. So back to blue side for Supa Hot Crew. Could be fairly happy because the comp they had in game 1 was just as good as the one they have here. Alistar was the first pick. Remember, Alistar was first picked by Kevin this game. He died 6 times, didn't pick up a kill, and had 0 impact.
And this all heads back to the very start. They went for the 4-0 split, but they caught them out down the bottom, and there was just slow reactions from Millenium. Got multiple kills. I think we saw Mimer come back to lane. He only got like 2-3 CS, but he got 1-0-2. He'd got going already. And he was way ahead of Kevin. And Kevin was never going to win it in a 1v1 then.
No, that's the thing. Again, if you're behind from minute 4, at least 1,000 gold or more, and you have to make the picks. You don't have proper wave clear. You only have 1 champ to wave clear. You're going to get outscaled. It's just instantly you realize after like 5-6 minutes, okay, we now have to make some risky plays. We have to try and go for whatever engage we can find. They did get one of the blue buff, where they got the 2 kills, so that was a good engage by Jree, and Millenium picked up 2 kills, defended the blue buff. And then they tried to go for the dragon fight, lost it, got aced, killed 1 member, I believe, from Supa Hot Crew. And from there on out, they were like 6,000-7,000 gold behind.
It was a...
And kind of realized, okay, now we've hit the point where we just have to sit and wait and try and catch them by surprise.
One-way traffic. The only victory was simply the blue buff for Millenium.
Yeah.
So Supa Hot Crew overall, they've gone with 2 solid team fighting compositions in these last 2 fights. And what did we say against SK that they did against Millenium? Team fighting composition. Millenium simply do not know how to deal with it. They try and get the picks, they're not available, and then they just come up short.
And it's one of the reasons going into the playoffs, I was looking at Millenium as a team and the games they've played in the regular season, and I was like, best out of 5. I don't see Millenium being a very, very strong team because they have this one play style, which you see completely countered, especially also with Morgana picks coming in from KaSing here, and build these team fight comps, which means if Millenium don't completely snowball the game, they fall so far behind they can't do anything to come back. And it's what SK Gaming did against Millenium in all the games, and it was the same deal as here. Supa Hot Crew's done it now twice, same deal. So Millenium need for the next game either to play completely out of their mind, get a pick come and just completely snowball it, or actually try and take a team fighting comp.
Well, we'll see how it works out. They need to start getting that lane phase going, that's for sure. Picks and bans could be